Hello everyone, welcome back to I Create For You. As you can see, I'm going to try something different today. I'm going to bring you along as I paint a saw blade. This is a real saw blade. I cleaned it really well and spray painted it black. And that's how I prep almost all of my saws. I have another one over here, a different shape. Oh, I hate that light. But yes, those are my shapes. And what I do is I paint these and then I mount them onto things like this. Now, I got this a long time ago. I think it was at Dollar General when it was on sale, like 90% off or something. So it might have only cost me like 50 cents. And after I am done painting the saw, I will mount it in here inside that circle, and then it can be hung. I usually put felt down first and then put my saw, but what I'm going to do today is I'm going to paint this first, and then that little hole in there, whatever I have painted, I match that color underneath, so it just blends because you can't help for the hole. It always has to be there. So I'm going to attempt to paint, let me get this down here so there's not much of a glare on it, this picture on here. And then I also have my different colors. I have a dark brown, a lighter brown, a lighter green, and more like an olive green here for the trees. So I'm debating on how I want to do Squatch himself. So I'm going to start to draw. I'm going to draw Squatchy down here, and I'm going to use this because look, when you do this, you can erase it. It ain't going to matter. But I just need it for reference so that I can paint him up here. And this is where he's going to go, right here in the middle. Yeah, I thought I'd give you something different to look at today. Wednesdays are usually I'm making them my scratch art, but I have to get a lot of stuff done for this sale at the end of the month. So I am going to incorporate some of the things I'm making for the sale into my YouTube videos so I can still create videos and give you some different content to watch. So here we go. I'll get this foot in here. And we'll go up, and that's his knee there. And like, if you haven't been here before, I like to talk myself through some of these when I do stuff. It's much easier for me to like kind of talk as I go so I know what I'm getting. And see, now that isn't looking right to me, so I have to I'll do it this way. Might be the whole head thing that's making a mess here. All right, that looks a little bit better. Got to come down here a little bit and then bring out his other hand. Hope you guys can see what I'm doing. You can actually, here, let me put you down a little bit. Oh, I got my thing backwards here, so it's a different view today. But I don't know if you can see this or not. I'm drawing him right there. I'll put him up a little bit. It's like I get the rest of his body in there. Okay. Now we're working on the second hand. It's like looks like a weird hand there. Looks like a crab claw. Okay, it goes up here. Goes down a little bit. Then it goes right out to his other leg. This way you also get to see my sketching again. Good old sketching. Okay, there's our squatch. Okay, I got that much done. Doesn't look too bad. Looks kind of like him. Here, I'll sit you out for now. Alright, so got squatch done. Alrighty, so up here, it looks like there is a sun or a moon. Maybe I'll make it a moon. And a perfect circle, but a circle nonetheless. I guess I gotta bring you back in again. Hold on, you might have to take Dramamine. Pulling in, pushing out. It's gonna be right there. And I'm gonna try to do the mountains, and I'm gonna do them all above this spot here, and then the trees are gonna be. This is how I start my trees. I just draw the line first. For the trunk. Oh, I hear my neighbor's dog out front. Okay, let's see now. I'm going to stay within this line here, so I'm going to have to go up. My pencil's giving out on me. I don't want to make that the same size, so I'll just make it a little bit bigger here. And this goes like this. All right. Now, I have to make sure that I am doing some color in here. Okay, this is going this way. It's coming off of here. Then going that way. And this way. This is what it, if you look, this is what it's showing. See, that's what I'm drawing. So if it looks kind of funky, it might not look so bad once it's painted. Yeah, and this comes down there. And do a little more of an outline here. And okay, now there's one little mountain here. And then there's one over here. Okay, now we add paint. Alrighty. Since I'm making that the moon, maybe I should go ahead and do the moon first, and then I'll work my way down that way I'm not putting my hand on what I've already done. So I'll work up, down. Alrighty, bring that moon down so you can see it. I got white here that I'm going to dip into. Alrighty. We'll start that moon. Ugh, I should put some of this on the plate. Can't get it out of the container. Hopefully this won't be too long of a video for you guys, and you won't be too bored with it. Just taking you along on my journey with art. This won't look so bad once I get a few coats on it. I don't like brush marks, so we'll be fixing that up. And I have some metallic pearlescent white that I'm going to put over top. Okay, I lost my, there it is. Oh, no it ain't. Here it is. Alrighty, clean that brush off. Let's see what other things I want to, I think I'm going to work on the mountain. I might make the mountain the lighter brown and make him the dark brown. I'm not sure yet. Let me see what these two colors look like with this black. What I might have to do is go over with a white first and then put the brown over top. So let me see what the dark looks like. That might be too dark. I wonder if that will work for him. Yeah, I might leave that for Squatchy and do the lighter ones up here for the. Now, I don't know. Do I make them? No, I'm not going to. I'm going to make them mountains. So, I was going to make them snow-covered mountains, but I don't know. I just noticed sometimes I hold my breath when I'm painting. I don't know if I think it makes me steady or I'm just hoping I don't goof up. I get my saw blades. We go to an auction every month, first Saturday of the month, and bidding on items start at $5. And it's one of those where there's a card and then you write your bid in. And it makes for a very long day because it's a very big place. But I can sometimes, depending, they have so many different things there. Depending on what people are looking for, I can get hand saws. Like I can get like 8 hand saws for $5. And I'll be doing one of those too. That maybe I'll make a video of also. But yeah, it's kind of like lucky to be able to get in there and get some supplies, and other people aren't interested in it, so you're getting yours. You're getting it for your supplies for $5 instead of paying them for them at a store. I probably would even pay more at a thrift store for like. I know I had gotten a whole crap load one time, and people were going, "What are you buying all those saws for?" Especially men, because I'm in the section where all the tools and stuff are, and you hear people wondering why you're looking at the saws. And then when I say I paint them, they go, "Oh, can't wait to see what they look like." Because then I take them back, and then they sell pretty high. And when I go to sales, I don't really price my stuff crazy like other people do. I've seen people who, when they go to sales, they really think these people are loaded with money, and they price their stuff high. I'm not like that. I always get yelled at because people say I underprice my stuff. And I say, well, if I price it too high, they don't get to enjoy it. Don't get my art doesn't get out there, and people don't get to enjoy it. So this way they don't feel like they had to pay a whole lot of money, because most of the kind of stuff that I have, I get and it doesn't cost me anything. So why should I charge people for that? That's just let's see now. What do I want to do for? I'm just gonna make this line here with the dark brown, because this is the trunk of the tree. I really don't need that much of a color because I'm going to cover it up to make trees. I'm self-taught. I didn't go take classes or anything. Didn't have the money nor the time. I was a single mother of two, so it wasn't really in the cards for me. I would have liked to have been an art teacher. That would have been interesting. Okay, now we're going to go back up to that moon while this stuff dries, and we're going to give that one another coat before I decide to put on that pearlescent color. Okay, that one didn't clean out that brown that well. Okay. Now maybe we can get some going here. Alrighty. I apologize if my husband comes down because he doesn't know I'm recording this. Guess I should have given him a heads up so he doesn't come down and go crazy. You know how it is when you're trying to do stuff, you're trying to record, then everything happens at once, and then you get all that background noise and interruptions. You're pausing and getting back on, and And me, I don't edit, so you get what you get. So you're going to get every little noise, every little interruption. Cats are all snoozing right now, so we don't have those going crazy. Alrighty. I'm going to do another layer of this brown. I hope I'm not rubbing my squatch off by leaving my hand on there. You guys still see what I'm doing here? I'm just going to go over all these mountains once again. This is stuff I like to do while watching TV. Or if it's nice outside, I'll go out in the back porch and paint. But today it's kind of gloomy out there, and it looks like it rained already, and it looks like it's going to come down again. So I don't want to go out there and have to deal with yucky weather. Haven't been having such a good week this week, so not really feeling the cheerful, happy vibes right now, so hold on. Okay, I'm back. Hubby came down. He was going to make himself something to eat, and I told him to go ahead. I had you on pause, and he just decided to. He said, "I'll wait. You just go ahead and finish your video and let me know when you're done." So he's a rather noisy guy in the kitchen, and the kitchen is right not that far away from where I'm at. So I'm sorry I'm a little bit off camera here. You know what? You can be able to see this now that I am doing color. So I'm going to put you back on one so you can see the whole thing being done. Now that there's some color in there. And then once I'm done, everything's dry and looks good, I take a clear coat, polyurethane, and spray it. And then that seals everything in. I've done some really cool, I don't know if I put it in one of my shorts. That does not even sound funny. in one of the shorts, all the hand saws I've done. People seem to really like when I do the American flag on there, and I make it look warm. So that's usually a big seller. And let's see what other ones I did. I did a lot of cool ones for Halloween. I have them all ready to go. I'm taking those to the sale since we're pretty close to Halloween. So they're going to be there. This is the first time I'm doing this hamburger festival we have in town. Of course, because I live in Hamburg, we have a hamburger festival. My daughter was actually the first ever Little Miss Hamburger Festival. Way back. They don't even do that anymore. I don't know why, but they don't. I think they only did it like 3 times. And then they didn't do it anymore. So there's usually thousands of people that come into our town. And there's always different types of hamburgers because there's a contest between the hamburger vendors as to, the different types of hamburgers that are sold, and people vote, and then they're able to taste test everything, and then they have a hamburger eating contest, I believe, and they have live music at different areas, different stages set up. So it's a pretty big deal, and then it keeps growing because it was usually just the main streets, which are North and South 4th Street and a little bit of State Street. But I can't believe I did that just because I'm talking. But they have expanded to other side streets too, and it's really going. I mean, like, they can only go so far on the streets without really closing down the town totally, getting in and out. So they have to watch because there are deliveries and stuff like that still need to be done, and so they can't really close down a whole lot. But man, it gets full, and every year it seems to be super hot. Whoop, almost went in the wrong one again. So, I don't know if you guys all know this. I don't really talk about it that much. But why I'm doing Bigfoot. Number one, he seems to be really popular lately. But I had an encounter one time. And changed my point of view. My husband was really the Bigfoot guy. But after my little encounter, it's real. We were visiting his mom in Oklahoma. She lived on a rural route, a real backwoods place with her sister, and she was supposed to have back surgery, I believe, and my husband wanted to be there, to make her feel better, to support her and everything. And she had a doctor appointment. We had gotten there at night, the night before, and she had a doctor appointment real early in Oklahoma City. Now we were we were in Ratliff City, and it was going to be a fairly long drive for them to get there in the morning, and she had an early appointment, so they had to leave real early in the morning. So the night before we get there, and I had, we visited before, but we never experienced a bunch of coyotes as we did that night. I mean, you could hear them, and it kept sounding like they were coming closer, and we were out there, and you couldn't see anything because it's where they lived. You didn't have to worry about the city lights or anything. It was pretty well dark, and not too far from where they lived was a little lake or pond or whatever you want to call it. And so my husband kind of knew everything around there, and he said that, yeah, he says it sounds like they're coming up around the pond. And I wanted to get a look, like as dumb as I am, I wanted to see if I could see anything or whatever, but you could hear them running, like, and yelping and running, and you could almost hear them getting closer. So we went back in after it died down. I mean, after a little bit, you didn't hear nothing. And then it was really strange how that happened. So the next morning, husband, mother-in-law, and his aunt are all going to this doctor appointment. And I stayed behind. I was still groggy from traveling there and getting there late, and then the excitement of those coyotes. And so I opted to stay back. So morning came. Well, they left. I can't remember when they left. It was still dark out, and I was still in bed. And all of a sudden, right after they left, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to move this a little bit so I can get in here. Right after they left, there was this bang, a real hard bang on the side. Now, they lived in a double wide trailer, but it was, built up around it a little bit and stuff. So you really couldn't tell it was a trailer, but I'm like, what the heck was that? And it sounded like something fell in their kitchen, off, like something might have came off the kitchen wall or something, because his aunt had a lot of knickknacks and stuff. So that's what I was thinking it was. And so I venture out and I look, and nothing had fallen. It happened twice, 2 times in a row. The first time I'm like, jeez, I must be dreaming. I don't know what the heck that was. And it did bother me a little bit. And then I thought, and then it happened again. I was like, okay. And it was weird because the room that we were in, it was like right at that room on the other side. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go out and see if something fell, if something is falling, like maybe one thing fell and now they're all going to go. And so I thought I'd try to do damage control and go out and check to see what's going on. So I went out, looked in the kitchen, looked in the living room, nothing. All right, whatever. And they had this stray dog that hung around, and he was outside yipping and yipping and yipping, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what the heck? Because he didn't hang around that often, but when he did, he was really cutie pie. He didn't really get verbal or nothing, whatever you want to call it, and you didn't really hear him yap. Well, he was going off. And I'm like, what the heck? So I look out the window. I'm looking out the window, and he's facing up toward they had this empty, well, it wasn't empty, I shouldn't say, a non-livable single wide trailer, because they used it for storage, and it was right up the hill from their house. You could see it. It wasn't that far, and I hear the dog barking. I'm looking at him. He's staring up by this house, and then he was staring at where I was, and I was like, "What the heck?" So I left it alone, and I thought, "Oh well, might be another animal in the area, raccoon, something that's bothering him." And so, well, I'm up now. I'm just gonna take a shower. So I went in the bathroom, take a shower, right? I go in there and I'm taking my shower, and I get out of the bathroom, and I'm near the window that they have, and it's a fairly high window, and I hear this guttural noise, and I'm like, what in God's name is that? It was freaking loud, and it was just something I can't even mimic. And the dog is going crazy. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, this isn't good. I'm not liking this. Something's happening. So I'm like, oh my gosh. And then it happened a second time. I heard this, because I'm thinking, okay, it's just my imagination. I just got to knock it off. I just need to focus on getting dried off, getting dressed, and stuff like that. And I just got to stop thinking about it. Well, that didn't work too well. I wanted to put another tree in here. I'm going to put one right here, because I had just about had enough of that noise coming out there. And I'm watching the dog again, and he's looking up toward this thing, like something was up there, went up there, but I have no idea. I didn't see it, but then the next day, oh, not next day, but when my husband came home, I was like, do I say something? Will they think I'm Looney Tunes for saying something? Or so I told him, and I said, don't say nothing to your mom, because it's kind of embarrassing. I thought I was losing my mind, because I'm not sure what the heck I heard. So I don't want to make a big deal of it. Then your mom will think I'm a Looney Tunes. So dummy me for thinking he wouldn't say nothing. But we're eating, and he says, "Hey, tell mom what you heard." I'm looking at him like, what part of I didn't want them to know this did you not understand? And he's, tell him what you think you might have heard. So I'm like, so I tell him, and they go, oh yeah, we get that a lot. I tell them about the big bang on the side of the house and stuff. I said I thought something came off the side of the house or inside. I thought something was falling. And his aunt, her husband had passed, and she says, oh no, that's just my husband. He sends me messages. And I'm like, okay, now I thought I was Looney Tune, and she's telling me it's her husband sending messages. I said, okay. Well, I didn't hear nothing about it. I was kind of upset. I guess they could have warned me, hey, if you hear a noise, it happens. It's something that just happens around here. I would have, not been so afraid or so alert or so whatever. But yeah. So I had that in my head, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this stuff's happening. I'm going to do a different color green down here than the trees. And yeah, it was definitely something I won't forget. I don't know how to explain it, and if it wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't think twice about Bigfoot. But the other night, my husband was he listens to this like podcast thing where it's called Sasquatch Chronicles, and it's old people who email this guy, and he tells their stories or has people on to tell their stories of their encounters. And so he had this on the other night, just the other night, and I keep telling him I don't know how to do that noise that thing made. Well, he says, you want to hear this, you might want to hear this. So he's he's telling me about this, and I'm like, okay, whatever, we'll see what happens. And well, actually, no, that wasn't on the Sasquatch Chronicles. It was actually on Angelo, who he explores and does camping and stuff. And he was out in the out camping. I forget, somewhere in Canada, and I heard him. He's like talking about this area that he doesn't usually go to or whatever. And he went, and he's walking along. Well, first of all, there was a yelp. And he's like, well, what the heck kind of animal is that? And I'm like, buddy, that's a Bigfoot yelp. And next thing you know, I hear he's walking along this trail, because he'll like do camping things. He'll camp first, and he had eaten, and he says, okay, now we're gonna go on a little adventure. So he's going on an adventure, and as he's walking back through the forest, that growl that I cannot do and say happened. And I cannot explain the chills that went through me hearing that. I was just like stunned. I'm like, oh my God, that's the exact sound, and I can't. Oh my God, I'm like, buddy, you need to get out of there, because when he was doing it, it was around him. It wasn't just. It didn't sound like just one either. It sounded like a family of them. It sounded like at least two. There were at least two. And I was like, oh my gosh, this guy, he needs to hightail it. Because I sure as heck wouldn't have put myself in that situation. This is not usually how I do mountains, but I'm thinking they needed something different here. Yeah, so now I know what it sounds like. I have it. I mean, I could record that. I mean, I should. So that when people ask me, what did it sound like, I can say it sounded like this. Although I don't tell many people. I mean, my kids think I'm Looney Tunes probably, because I told them. But yeah. Yeah, that was quite the experience. And that's why I believe, because there could not have been anything else that made that noise and did those things to the house. And their dog disappeared a week later. Their little friendly stray, he disappeared a week later. This is the iridescent. I shouldn't say iridescent. It's called Baroque Pearl. And I put it over his, and it gives it a cool effect. Yeah, so that was my experience. And I really don't care if people believe me or not. I experienced it. I wasn't a believer. I was a Yeah, I'm the type of person, I believe it when I see it. You have to show me. I'm a show me person. If you can show me proof, yeah, yeah. Well, I didn't see it, but I lived it. I experienced it, I guess you could say. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so there is my Bigfoot saw. And I believe once I put it on here, I'm going to color the back. So I'm going to color it black because that's a black spot there. So I'm just going to color the whole inside circle black. And then I'll put wording down here, like just believe or Squatch life. Not all who wander are lost. Maybe I'll put that on there. But that's what I'll do. And there you go. I hope you like this little, I don't know if it's a tutorial or just a ride along with my art experiences. Get you out of that light there. But I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. And hope you give it a thumbs up. Even if you don't believe, subscribe, comment, share. And I shall see you in the next video. Bye bye for now. Thank you.